Hey everybody, this is lesson 32, session 5 in your math book. We are on page 733 and this is refine, working with area and perimeter of shapes. So area again is length times width and perimeter is adding up all of those sides to find how much you need for the outside. So on page 733, we will start. This is just going over everything that we've gone over, so it's a review of all that we've done. Number 1, Jared's dad built a square deck in his backyard. One side of the deck is 10 feet long. What is the perimeter of the deck? So if it's a square, that gives you a hint. A square has 4 equal sides. If one of those is 10 feet long, what is the perimeter of the deck? So if I'm finding the perimeter, I'm going to add up 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, and I get 40. So another way that we talked about in the last video was 10 plus 10 is 20. So say this is 10 and this is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 times 2 is 40. So the perimeter is 40, and then let's see what units are talking about, feet. 40 feet. Oops, 40 square feet because we made a square. 40 square feet. That is number 1. I'll erase this so there's more room. Number 2. We're going to turn the page to 734. Belinda's rectangular side yard is shown below. Draw a rectangle that has the same area as the yard but a different perimeter. Show your work. So we were just doing the opposite. We were doing the finding shapes that have the same perimeter but a different area, but now we're going back. We need the same area but a different perimeter. So let's find out what the area and the perimeter are of this shape first. So she's doing 9 and 4. So to find the area, I'm going to multiply length times width. 9 times 4 is 36. That is the area. And then I'm also finding the perimeter because we need a different perimeter. So the perimeter is 9 plus 4. I'm going to add up those sides, and that's 13. And then I'm going to multiply it by 2 because I have one group of it. I also have a second group. So it's all of that together. 13 times 2 is 26. I could just do 13 plus 13, but I'm trying to get into harder math. So that is my perimeter. Now, if I were to add up all of these sides, I would get 26. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 4 is 22, plus 4 is 26. Same answer, different strategy. So I'm looking for a yard that has the same area but a different perimeter. Now, when you're finding the area, it needs to have 2 numbers that will equal 36. That is what I'm doing. I know right out of the gate one number that is automatically going to equal 36, and that is 6 times 6. I know my multiples, and I know 6 times 6 is 36. I also know, so her garden could be 6 by 6. I also know I could have 36 by 1, and that'll get me to 36. So that looks like really long and skinny garden. That could also be the opposite. It could be 1 by 36 equals. So it could look like this. Let me move out of the way for you. Okay. I also could have, I could also have 9. Well, I have 9 times 4 is 36. That is the answer. But those are the other sides that it could possibly be. There is actually one more. I could also have 12 times 3. That is also 36. So that would look like that. So if I want to make sure that the perimeter is not going to be, that it's going to be different, 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 12 is 24. So this perimeter is 24. That one works. It has the same area. Let's see, 36 plus 1 is 37. 37 plus 37 is, oh my goodness, I'm just all over the place right now, is 74. So that's a different perimeter. That would work. 12 times 3. So 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 plus 15 is 30. That would work. And I know this one has the same perimeter as this one. It's just flipped. So those all would work out just fine. Please copy this down and pause the video here if you need to write down those answers for number 2, because I am about to move on to number 3. Number 3 has a funky shape, and this is just reviewing that all of the sides of your shape we're going to add up and equal the perimeter. So this is a funky shape. It says the perimeter is 12 centimeters. You don't know one of the sides. So what you're going to do is you're going to add up all the sides that you do know and subtract that from 12. What you get is the length of that side. So one of the sides is 1 centimeter plus 1 centimeter plus 5 centimeters plus 2 centimeters plus, I don't know, equals 12. So I'm going to add up 1 plus 1 is 2, 5 plus 2 is 7, 2 plus 7 is 9. So 9 plus, I don't know, gets me to 12. I can flip it and say 12 minus 9 is 3. So now I know that the missing side is 3 centimeters long. If I wanted to check my work, I could substitute 3 in for that question mark and I should get 12. So let's practice that. So I have 1 plus 1 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3. Now 1 plus 1 is 2, 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 3. So now 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. Now below number 3, it says Rose chose letter D as the correct answer. How did she get that answer? She chose 9 centimeters. She probably just added up all the sides and forgot that she had to subtract from 12. That's probably all that she did wrong. So you'll write that. She forgot to subtract from 12. Number 4. Number 4 says, Rachel has 20 feet of fencing to put around a rectangular section of her lawn. So that's perimeter. The fencing must go around the perimeter of the rectangular section with no overlap. Does Rachel have exactly enough fencing for each rectangular section shown below? The area of each square is 1 foot. So we need to find the perimeter of each object to see if her 20 feet will be enough. So let's see, this is number 4. And I'll just count these as 1, 2, 3, and 4. So all I'm going to do is count the rows and the columns to see how many she has. So here I have 1 by, this is a 1 by, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A 1 by 10. Let me just make sure that I'm correct in that. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. This one is a 2 by, let's see, it's shorter. It looks like it's 2 shorter, but let's see. So 2 shorter than 10 is 8. Let's see if that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. 2 by 8. Now number 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 by 5. And the bottom one is 5 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 5 across. 5 by 5. So her perimeter is 20, well, she has 20 feet of fencing. So we need to see, does she have enough for that? Okay. First things first, I'm going to do it the really simple, basic way. And as I go through these problems, I'm going to progress in my level of difficulty. And that is what I want you to do too. Some of this might make sense to you a different way. I'm going to show you hopefully a couple of different strategies. And one you need to pick and have it work for you. Okay? So for this first one, I know it's a 1 by 10. I'm looking for the perimeter. I'm going to add up all 4 of those sides. It's a rectangle, so I know there's 2 groups of 10 and 2 groups of 1. 1 plus 1 plus 10 plus 10. So with a 1 by 10, she would have, let's see, 1 plus 1 is 2. 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 plus 2 is 22-foot perimeter. Would she have enough? No. Now I'm going to do it another way. I'm going to say, okay, one side is 2, another side is 8, plus 2 plus 8 equals 2 plus 8 is 10. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. She has 20 feet. Does she have enough? Yes. Now this is where I'm going to start getting a little bit harder. 4 times 5. Those are the parameters of her, the side lengths of her garden per se. So I'm going to do 4 plus 5 is 9. Because I am adding up those sides, and when I add up half of those sides, they equal half of the perimeter. So now I'm going to multiply it by 2, and I get 18. Okay, does she have enough? Yes, she would. Just making sure that I did that right. 9 times 2 is 18. So would she have enough? Yes, she would have enough. Unless I wrote down those wrong. Yeah, okay, good. All right, then for number 4, let me see. This one would be 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 times 2 is, excuse me, 10 times 2 is, oh my goodness, is 20. So yes, she would have enough. Okay, that is how that would work out, assuming that she had only 20 feet. So, okay. All right, I'm just looking for something really fast. So with this one, it's 4 by 5, 4 by 5. So you would take 4 plus 5 is 9, and multiply it by 2 and you get 18. Or you could do 4 plus 4 is 8, 5 plus 5 is 10. Yes, if she has a 4 by 5 shape, she has enough. Okay? Awesome. Now, number 5, Ling plants a flower garden and a vegetable garden. Both gardens are rectangles. So if you need to draw this, you can. I'll erase this so there's more room. Because she has a flower and a vegetable garden, and I want to make sure that you understand the difference. So part A is her flower garden. They're rectangles, so that means that 2 sides are the same length. So let's see, Ling's flower garden is 8 feet long. It has an area of 40 square feet. What does the perimeter of the flower garden show your work? So we know the length of her garden. We need to find out the width of her garden. They give us a hint. They tell us that the area is 40. So if we break it down, let's write flower here, and this is her vegetable garden. All right, so one of her sides is 8 feet. Now we know the area is 40. We also know that area equals length times width. They gave us the length of 8 feet. They also gave us the area, which is 40. So you need to say, what do I multiply by 8 to get to 40? Or if you don't know that and you know your division, you can take 40 and divide it by 8 and you get 5. So now I know my other side is 5. And it's asking what the perimeter is. So if I just wanted to double check this, I would say that 8 times 5 is 40. So that's double checking that my math is correct. So I am correct in that. I can count my 5s 8 times and I should get to 40. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 5 times 8 is 40. Now I need to find the perimeter. So I'm going to add up these sides. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 times 2 is 26. So my perimeter is 26. My area is 40. Now, I did that the fastest way, which is adding up those sides, because I know this is also 8 plus 5. So I'm doing 8 plus 5, 8 plus 5, times it by 2, and I get 26. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 5 is 21. Plus 5 is 26. So that is the fastest way for you to figure that out. Number B, letter B. Ling's vegetable garden is 10 feet wide. 10 feet wide. Its area is the same as the flower garden. So the area for the flower garden was 40. So we know area equals 10 times the width. 40 equals 10 times width. 10 times, we don't know, equals 40. Well, we know that 10 times 4 equals 40. So this other side must be 4. Which garden has the greatest perimeter? So that means we need to figure out what this perimeter is. I know I can do 10 plus 4 plus 10 plus 4, or I can do my shortcut of 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 plus 14 is 28, or 14 times 2, because all multiplication is repeated addition. 14 times 2 is 28. That's the perimeter. So it's saying which one is greater? Is it 28 or 26? Well, her vegetable garden has a greater perimeter because it's 28. Okay, so the vegetable garden has a greater perimeter because its perimeter is 28. Again, feel free to pause this video and restart it or start where you left off, because I'm moving on to page 736 and problem number 6 and problem number 7. Hopefully with all this practice, you're really getting the hang of it. I think it's a lot of fun. They're just like super cool puzzles that you have to figure out. And I don't want you to quit or give up, because winners never quit and quitters never win. Number 6 on page 736, look at rectangle A below. The area of each square is 1 square unit. Find the perimeter and area of rectangle A. So I'm going to count down the squares. So if I count down, I get 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 4, 5. I can tell it's longer this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 this way. Find the perimeter and area of rectangle A. So now I'm going to, first things first, I'm going to do the area because it's easier. Area equals length times width. So area equals 4 times 6, which equals 24. The area is 24. The perimeter is 4 plus 6 is 10 times 2 is 20. So I know my perimeter is 20. So on the line for perimeter, you'd write 20, and for area, you'd write 24. Part B. This is part A. Part B. Use the grid to draw a rectangle that has the same perimeter but a different area than rectangle A. Label it rectangle B. Write the perimeter and area of rectangle B. So, letter B, letter B up here. And this one, I'm looking for the different area. Okay, different area, but the same perimeter. So if I'm looking for the same perimeter, I'm looking for 2 sides, 2 numbers that equal 10. So I'm gonna do good old 5 plus 5. Those are basic fronts of 10. So the area, I don't know why I keep doing that, is equal to 5 times 5, which is 25. So I have a different area. Now the perimeter should be the same, 5 plus 5 equals 10. 10 times 2 is 20. Perimeter is equal to 20. So same perimeter, but a different area. So again, on the perimeter, you're gonna write 20 because we're looking for the same perimeter. Area you're gonna write is 25. Letter C. Use the grid to draw a rectangle that has the same area, but a different perimeter than rectangle A. Label it rectangle C. Write the perimeter and area of rectangle C. So when you are looking for the same area, the area of this is 24. So I'm gonna just write that up here so I know. Now what I'm doing is I'm looking for multiples of 24. What that means is I'm looking for two numbers I can multiply together will equal 24. Like 4 times 6 is 24. Because I'm multiplying length times width to get the area, so I need to have two numbers that will also equal 24. I can do 4 times 6. I can also do 8 times 3. So I'm gonna do 8 times 3. This is 8, and this is 3. Now I know 8 times 3 is 24. I need to find the perimeter. It needs to have a different perimeter. So the area equals 24. Different perimeter, so 8 plus 3. Now I add those sides up. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 times 2 is 22. There you go. I get different perimeter, but I have the same area. Numbers, really quick before I move on, I just want to make sure that you understand that area is length times width. So you're multiplying these two numbers. When you're finding the perimeter, you're adding those two numbers and then multiplying it by 2 because you have one group and two groups. So I hope that's really clear. If not, watch it again, try over and over and over again. Number 7, Alex says that all rectangles with a perimeter of 14 meters have the same area. Is she correct? No, she's not correct. As we've learned, you can have different areas, different perimeters. So I'm gonna erase this and show you how you can have the same perimeter of 14, but you can have different areas. It just depends on, because you're multiplying numbers instead. So if you have a perimeter of 14, that means the sides, if you break it down into half, have to equal 7. So let's see, so if I'm adding up two numbers, oops. If I'm adding up two numbers that have to equal 7, I know I can do 5 plus 2 equals 7, 6 plus 1 equals 7. I can do 4 plus 3 equals 7. So those are all going to have the same perimeters. But now, instead of adding those numbers together, I'm going to multiply them. So 4 times 3 is 12. That's the area. That equals the area. Now I'm multiplying. 6 times 1 equals 7. That's the area. Much smaller area here than there is here. Now I'm doing 5 times 2 is 10. It's the area. So as you can see, you can have 3 different shapes with the same perimeter, but they all have different area. So for this one, I'd have to have a bigger rug. This one I would need less because 7 is smaller than 10 and 12. So I hope that makes sense. You have finished lesson 32. Now all we have is lesson 33 and we're done. So keep up the good work. I know this can be kind of tricky. I'm gonna have hopefully a couple math Zooms this week if you guys can make it, because I know you're gonna be without computers, some of you. So anyway, thanks guys, good job.